Hello everybody, Dan here. Welcome back to Daily Soap Dish. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button down below because we cover a ton of 90 Day Fiancé right here on the channel. Let's get right into it, guys. Today we have a big story for you guys, actually, about Rob the Knob Warren and his wife, Sophie Sierra. Now, we haven't spoken a lot recently about these two. The last couple of videos that we did about these two, though, focused a lot on Rob, his overall shadiness, his lies, and just, I don't know, just him being a knob, more or less. Now, we've spoken about how Rob, he's an aspiring actor, and he's tried his hand at becoming famous before. He had an IMDb page that we looked at in a previous video. So Rob has definitely been trying to become famous and to get into acting before. And of course, he found the perfect suckers in TLC with 90 Day Fiancé that actually finally took him on and put him on TV. Now, we've seen the journey of him and Sophie, from Sophie coming to the USA, coming to his home in California, and basically Rob kind of making her live in his, very small apartment with no bathroom. And they had a lot of disagreements about, those living arrangements. And so the relationship has had a lot of red flags ever since that we first saw them. And I think there's more red flags than what we saw on the show. I'm not even sure that these two were ever fully in a real relationship. I think they were both kind of using each other. I think they're both in their own way. And I know a lot of you guys out there like Sophie. And if I have to choose between these two, definitely pick Sophie. Rob doesn't have a lot of qualities that, that I like or that I can see personally that I would like. So I'll definitely pick Sophie, but I think that Sophie is also a bit of a clout chaser, just like Rob. She just happens to be a lot smarter and a lot more likable than Rob, who really is a knob, and he's kind of really behaved that way on the show. He's also been slammed by Statler for basically lying about being so poor and destitute when he was younger. Statler basically exposed him for living in one of America's most affluent neighborhoods when he was younger. Of course, Rob kind of fired back at that, saying, well, that's my extended family. Just because they're rich and they have money doesn't mean that me and my mom, we really lived that lifestyle. So he kind of fired back at that, but Statler really laid into Rob because, of course, Rob doesn't have a lot of fans, not just from the viewers, but also from the 90 Day Fiancé universe. So today's video has to do with their relationship and what's going on. Are they together or are they separated? Because one of the most interesting, in fact, the most interesting thing about this couple are all these posts that we often see. Are they together or do they separate? They really don't have much else to offer besides the speculation about them being together. So today we're going to look at this In Touch article here that addresses, the speculation. Actually, they have an insider. I'm going to tell you guys right now that they have an insider that confirms that Rob and Sophie have split. But there's some interesting information about the timing of that split, and it kind of plays into, we've spoken about this before, just TLC showing us old, dated storylines, perhaps even fake storylines. It plays into that because they split a long time ago, according to this insider. And so we have some questions about that. We're going to get to that in a second. First, we're just going to go through this. It's a pretty lengthy article, but we're going to build a timeline, and then we will discuss, the big news, which is that they're allegedly, according to an insider, not together. So are they still together after the season 10 tell-all? So Rob and Sophie gave fans an inside look into their international love story during season 10 of 90 Day Fiancé. The relationship has not been without its troubles, of course, from Rob fighting with Sophie's mom to Sophie finding disgusting videos on her fiancé's phone. The two have had plenty of issues, and fans are wondering just what's going on. Where are these two at right now, since they're appearing on Happily Ever After? Now, Sophie and Rob are both of mixed race, and they met after she followed Instagram pages for cute mixed race guys. Now, shortly after they connected, Rob asked her if they could FaceTime. While Sophie initially thought the request was weird, she admitted she liked the suggestion, and they FaceTimed for 8 hours. So it appears they connected, at least at first. I do care about looks, care about both looks and personality, but I care a lot about looks too. So I guess you really care about looks, right? I feel like I'm a good-looking guy, so people can kiss my ass on me being shallow and wanting a good-looking girl. But I'm going to keep it real, Rob said in a confessional by reflecting on what drew him to Sophie. So Rob kind of, being true to his Rob the Knob moniker here. Basically, it's not even that he wants a good-looking girl, to be with him. It's just that Rob himself, he's more like vain Rob. He just appears like a very shallow individual. He doesn't have a lot of qualities that seem very likable to me. And so this whole thing about him just really being focused on looks doesn't surprise me, never did. And it appears that that's kind of how Rob looks at life in general, in a very shallow and superficial kind of way. Now, I wanted a fine-ass woman, he continued, and Sophie is the hottest person I've been with, and that's what I've been looking for. So he's very real about what he wants. Now, Sophie was raised in Spain, but she's an England native. She traveled to LA and spent 2 months getting to know Rob. As the relationship got more serious, she wanted a K-1 visa, which allows foreign citizens to travel to the USA if they're engaged to a citizen. Rob was initially nervous, but he ultimately agreed. Now, I have to wonder here, when it says that Rob was initially nervous, what was he nervous about? Was he nervous about Sophie coming over? Why would he be? He says that she's the hottest person that he's ever met. I think what he was nervous about is that he was going to have to fork out some cash, and Rob the Knob seems to be a little cheap with his money, and maybe he didn't want to do that. We know that it costs money to file that paperwork. You have to have some money. Also, once you do that, you're responsible to provide for that person. So you kind of do have to take it very serious. Not kind of, you do have to take it very seriously. It's a very serious act, because not only do you have to pay for all the paperwork, which I really think personally that's what Rob was most worried about, but even if things don't work out, you're still financially responsible. So it's a very big commitment, one that should not be undertaken lightly. Now, Sophie lied to Rob about her sexual orientation, which I really thought was one of the most, I don't know, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm not a fan of this couple. I'm just not. They don't really move me. When I watch their scenes, I just don't really seem to connect with either of them. Rob, of course, being a knob, I just don't really care for Rob. But Sophie as well, she kind of comes off like she's a bit of a clout chaser as well. But I just think that she's a lot more likable than Rob is. But just the two of them together, there's something weird, something fake and phony about it. And I felt that about this whole sexual orientation thing. It never moved me when Sophie said, I'm into girls too, but I never really went all the way with another woman. I really thought that, maybe on an evening, Rob and Sophie got together because, they don't have much to show to TLC. So they said, you know what, why don't we spice things up, and you, Sophie, you pretend like you're into girls, and then maybe we can, we can get featured more on the show, and they're going to have more PR content with us in it, because now we have an angle, we have a hook to hook people in, and we're going to talk about, you potentially being also being into girls. Now, a reason why I don't get moved by these storylines is because it was a few years ago when we first had Stepanka Matteau and her Australian girlfriend, whom I forget the name of right now. And that storyline, they were supposedly lesbians. They were in love. They loved each other. But as soon as they met, there was a complete disconnect. They did not get along. They didn't even want to touch each other. It was mostly coming from Stepanka Matteau, but it did not feel like a real relationship. It felt like two people that basically agreed, we're going to fake a lesbian relationship for views, and hopefully it will build our Instagram brands. It will build our brands on social media. That's what the whole thing was, because after their season, the Australian lady had a male boyfriend, and Stepanka, I don't think she's a lesbian to this day. She had boyfriends before. And so the whole thing, I think, was a sham and a scam. And I'm always skeptical when I see these kind of soft launches of, sexual orientations that, on the show. So also Rob said that Sophie had spoiled rich girl tendencies and made him nervous. Of course, Sophie just not being okay with not having a bathroom in her, in her apartment where she's staying in LA. I guess that means that she's a spoiled rich girl, according to Rob the Knob. I mean, we just only live in the Western world where these things are kind of like a given, that you have a bathroom in your apartment or in your house. It's not exactly like mind-blowing that you would have that, but, Rob really thought that because allegedly Sophie comes from a rich background, that she was spoiled. I really never really felt that Sophie was all that spoiled. Not from what she showed on the show. She might be spoiled in the background, but on the show, I'm not sure that I really felt that way. Now, Sophie's mom also didn't like Rob, and she did give him the nickname of Rob the Knob. On January 7, 2024, Sophie's mom visited the couple. Ahead of the visit, Sophie was worried that Rob would not get along with her mom, and he admitted that he felt like the mom was a wrench in their relationship, and things got off to a bad start, as Rob called Sophie's mom aggressive, and of course she did not enjoy that. So they had a lot of tension that lasted throughout the meeting, and got worse when Sophie's mom visited the duo at Rob's apartment. And of course, Sophie's mom did not like that apartment. She was unimpressed by it. She called it a man cave, and basically she expected something better for her daughter. And I would expect the same thing. I mean, it's not exactly shocking that she would feel that way, especially coming from the UK. The UK is, it's a wealthy country, similar standards of living as the USA. And so why would you go from living in the UK with normal bathrooms and, like just everything being normal, to downgrading to the living conditions that we saw at Rob's place? It makes very little sense. So I totally agree with the mom here. Now, the drama continued. After the fight at Rob's apartment, Sophie and her mom stormed out. And Sophie did say at that point that there was only a 50-50 chance that they would work out. Her mom warned her that she would lose her spark if she stayed with Rob. In a separate conversation with his friend, Rob also admitted that he wasn't sure his wedding to Sophie would indeed happen. So they did try to work things out. And after Sophie went wedding dress shopping with her mom, Rob posted a shady meme about her on social media, but she reached back out to her fiancé and went back home with him, or went back home to him. The couple wasn't in the clear, as Sophie broke down when Rob refused to apologize to her for fighting with her mom. So Sophie said on the February 18th episode that she and Rob were getting along. She felt excited for their wedding. Of course, they had more struggles. Rob was ignoring his fiance's mother. So the mom kind of was problematic for these two. The mom coming to LA created probably more problems, but it's probably not her fault. It's probably just because Rob really is a knob, but it did create more, problems for the two. Now, do they want kids? So basically a big argument between Rob and Sophie that we saw early on, even in October, was that Rob wanted kids and Sophie did not. Sophie, of course, is an Instagram model. They call her a model. I'm not exactly sure that she's a real model. I don't believe so. I think she is just basically an influencer. And if she's a model, then basically 90 Day Fiancé has all the ladies on 90 Day Fiancé are models, because they all pose on Instagram and they try to basically get opportunities to work with brands. This is basically how they make their money mostly nowadays. So let's take a look at what Sophie does on Instagram. So if we look here at her Instagram, she does a lot of posts like this, where she'll be wearing clothes. She'll basically be modeling the clothes by wearing it. She'll be going out, doing whatever, to a bar, a club, or just anywhere. And she'll be modeling the clothes, and then she will mention in the caption what she's wearing. And I guess she gets paid for that. How much? I don't know. It depends on the brand. It depends on Sophie. It depends on her following. But she probably gets some money, a few $100s, I would say, at the very least, for all of these posts. Now, how many does she do? So we can maybe get a feel for what she makes. It's hard to say. So she did one on March 1st. She did one on February 26th, I believe, with the same brand. Then she did one on February 8th, which I think is a different brand. So she doesn't do like a ton of these posts, but this is how most of the cast, especially the female cast, make money, by modeling clothes from these brands. Sometimes they're not even known brands, but brands that are just trying to break in and need a little bit of a PR push. And so they reach out because they see when they look at her account, they see, oh, she has 195,000 followers. And sometimes the brands get suckered into, into these numbers. This is a bit of an old kind of school way of doing business as a brand, because a lot of these Instagram accounts, and I'm not talking about Sophie or Rob in particular, but I've seen some shady numbers with some of the 90 Day Fiancé cast. I've seen numbers go up in inorganic ways. And so I don't know what Sophie and Rob are doing exactly, but there is a lot of faking of stats going on out there. And so how many sales can you really get by having one of these, 90 Day Fiancé stars or celebrities feature your clothes in a post? It's really unclear. And I think some brands have cut down on that because they noticed that it just wasn't worth the investment. But that's what Sophie does. And so she considered herself a model. And all of these publications like In Touch and people, they say, oh, she's a model, which she's really not. Now, Rob's friend Tori also distrusted Sophie, as he claimed he saw her on a dating app the last time she was in LA. So this was I feel like there's a lot of these kind of petty arguments between these two. So Sophie basically admitted she was on the app, but said that she was on there because she was there to make friends. So I forget if this was Bumble. Forget the app, but Bumble has that feature where you can meet friends. Now, the issue here, though, is you guys remember, we just went over this, that Sophie says that she's bisexual. Now, whether she is or not doesn't matter, because for the sake of coherence in their storyline, if she is bisexual and she's attracted to women in a romantic way or sexual way, then it stands to reason that perhaps she was using that friend feature in perhaps not only a friend kind of way, right? Because perhaps she was looking to see if she could find a nice, hot lady that she would be attracted to and then see what happened. So, but that was the explanation that she gave. She said, on that same app I met Soraya on. I'm still on that app to make friends because I don't know anyone here, in California. And there's bi women on the friend side, like you can be bi or gay and still look for friends. So it's like I do have the option, I guess, of asking them. Well, as long as I don't do anything to disrespect them, it's like I feel like I should be allowed to do that. So did Rob cheat on Sophie? So basically what happened is I went on this one app, and basically he's been getting disgusting videos from other women, Sophie said. Noting the idea to search his phone came from a dream she had the night before. No one wants to see their partner, getting turned on for anyone other than them. If you're getting pictures from another person that's not your partner and jerking off to them and watching all this disgusting stuff and requesting videos and having a fun time, that's cheating, she said. She rented a temporary room in the area as she decided how to deal with his infidelity. I don't want to throw away my whole life that I've been trying to build to be in LA with Rob. It's like all that I've got. I have to give up that dream, and he just gets to live the same life with no consequences. He doesn't have to leave. He just gets to do what he's doing. Now, he insisted that the conversation Sophie saw on his phone was months old from before her visa was even accepted. So he tried to soften the blow of the cheating. I don't know if it really worked. I don't know if anyone bought it, but that was Rob's way of dealing with it. So Sophie said she did not consider Rob's sexual conversation as cheating eventually. Now, as the two continued to work on their relationship, they got into another explosive fight in December when a shop worker propositioned them for a threesome. Rob didn't want to give an answer, which upset Sophie. If you didn't want to do it, you would have said no. We're not even married yet, and you're thinking about effing other people. You're supposed to say no. I wouldn't let you have sex with someone else. The point is I have trust issues, and you disrespected me. So he refused to apologize, of course, because he is a knob, after all. That's why. Now, they did get married in February, or at least on the episode that we saw in February, and they are unhappily ever after. Now, after a rocky 90 days in the USA before tying the knot, Rob and Sophie are still working out on a lot of issues in their relationship. Despite wanting to make her marriage work, Sophie is still bothered by his infidelities, and she fears that he basically is not going to change. During the season premiere, Sophie moved in with her friend Kay after she found shocking videos from another woman on Rob's phone. Now, after she moved out, he admitted that he was worried her relationship with Kay was romantic. He then shared that they hadn't had sex in a while he also wondered if his wife would get used to life without him. So, this is the moment that we've been waiting for. So we kind of built this whole, basically this whole story of Rob and Sophie. And are they still together? So after all these ups and downs, are they still together? The answer is no. They're not together. But, okay, let's go through this, and I'll tell you guys what's shocking to me. While it was initially believed Sophie moved into her own apartment, the pair revealed that after they got married, they relocated to Austin, Texas. In January 2024, a fan noticed proof that Sophie and Rob were maybe trying to throw people off about their relationship because they were supposedly not following each other. So he noticed a neon pink sign in the background of one of Rob's stories, and also he saw the same sign on a post that Sophie made. Now, meanwhile, In Touch has an insider that revealed in March 2024 that this couple has called it quits. They haven't officially filed because the show is still going on. A source exclusively told In Touch, Sophie and Rob still keep in touch and are friends, but they are not together. The insider added that the pair haven't been together since Sophie moved in with Kay. They moved in together around May of last year and have been living together since. Now, fans can watch their love story unfold on Happily Ever After. But, guys, supposedly they've been broken up since May of last year. So May of 2023. Guys, we met Rob and Sophie just a few months ago in the fall of 2023. Allegedly, they were already broken up on their first episode that we saw them on. And this goes back to what we've been talking about lately. TLC needs to get their act together. They really need to get their shit together. That's really the only way that I can put this, because they're showing us stuff that is so old and dated. We've seen this with Big Ed and Liz. We're seeing it with Michael and Angela, if we ever get to see them on Happily Ever After. Who knows? We've seen it with The Last Resort, where they were showing us Kalani and Asuela working through their relationship issues, but that couple was donezo 2-3 months before that because Kalani already had a new boyfriend, and she's admitted to that. They're showing us all of these fake storylines that are old and dated. I wonder, are they doing it on purpose? Like, what is going on with TLC? How has TLC devolved into being so bad at storytelling, at being so bad at being timely, and showing us, relationships that at least to some extent basically resemble what's going on in their real lives? But no, Rob and Sophie were broken up even before we first saw them, appear on their first season that they were on. So I have so many questions. I would have so many questions for this insider that In Touch supposedly spoke to. First of all, can we trust this insider? I don't know. In Touch is a respected publication, but who knows? Who knows about this particular insider? But if what he's saying is true, there's no point in watching the show. They're broken up. The story is old and dated. You guys just skip their parts. You already know what's going to happen. They're going to break up. There's no point to watching it. So pretty shocking stuff here, in my opinion. Not just that they're broken up, but just how long it's been that they've broken up. And also, I have to wonder, were they somehow acting some of their scenes even after they had broken up? Because, according to this insider, they still keep in contact. They still keep in touch. Is that keeping in contact, is that part of some kind of arrangement that they have where they act like they're together to film episodes for 90 Day Fiancé to give TLC content? I don't know. Maybe you guys have some theories about that, and please let me know in the comment section down below, because guys, I don't know how to wrap my head around this, but it's been basically a year since these two are supposedly broke up, and we're still getting all of this old content. Are they acting? Is TLC just that much behind the curveball? I don't know, guys. You guys let me know what you think, because this is just bad. It's bad for the show. This is not good. So let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think about Rob and Sophie. Let me know what you think about TLC supposedly showing us a storyline that is just so dated. Do you have any kind of theory about that? Please let me know your comments in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please give it a big thumbs up if you did. Hit that subscribe button down below for more content right here on the channel. And I'll see you guys very soon. Take care.